Yo, what is good? My anime faithful, what is good, yo? Guys, on my Lanta. Three amazing shows, some more beautiful than the others, but overall, we are getting quite the show lately, and I am pretty happy about it. This week of the girl who enchants the love and all that good stuff, we are getting so like I don't know, like the way that they introduced uh this week's episode or like last week's episode where they were like, oh, this isn't part of the plan and this guy isn't part of the script and all this and that. I pretty much called it that it was that idiot who the main character pretty much didn't like in the first place, and come to find out, he is the reason why homegirl, the mom, is in this dire situation in the first place. So let's get straight into it. We find out that because the this guy who's pretty much like her understudy, like he's just newer at the job than she is. It seems like everything he's kind of planning is going according to his plan, which all he seemingly wants to see is our main character's mom like fail at this point. Like literally, all he's been trying to do is like sabotage different things, be in areas that he had like no business being in. Like for instance, the briefcase that he straight up brings for his mom, this guy just all of a sudden happens to get an opening where she sets it down to go talk to the chief, and he's still there, like nothing, no one noticed anything, you know? So it's that type of stuff that it made me just very angry. Not to mention that um, the news people, the people that are, kind of talking to her son and acting as if they're not trying to get information in the worst ways. Uh, they then give us, well, they give me the feeling that they're in and on it with the guy who set up the whole entire jumping of the mom in the first place. Because when we look back, um, as soon as the news reporter kind of gets the information she wants, or she sees a guy pull up, throw a crap ton of eggs, and somehow without the cameras supposedly being on, they still capture that footage, which somehow the mom either didn't see or because how the show was shot, it made it seem like she didn't react to herself being egged on TV. But regardless of the fact, I can't wait for our character to maybe figure out some way to do them dirty for what they just tried to pretty much do to his mom. I mean, I understand that you have your job and you want to do it to your best abilities and get the information you want. But at the same time, you see her trying to like bear her all, telling you exactly what's going on. The loss that she had from her father, which the woman already knew about, so it wasn't even shocking. So just stuff like that gives you a true good feeling of what type of people we're dealing with and what they're probably going to continue to be like until we can until they like get exposed somehow. So we're gonna have to deal with that for probably quite a bit, unfortunately. But yeah, regardless of that, it's still very, very telling of the show when seemingly nothing is going on with his time travel in this week, like him just meddling with being able to go back and try to do things, which I thought he was gonna do if the briefcase, if his mom actually talked about like the information in there for so he, by those people having it made no sense, But of course they don't do that because that would make the show much too simple, much too quick to the point, And seeing a mother cry is bad for just one reason of, if it's my mom, I would be super frustrated. So I'm guessing a man like him who's lost his father and wants to be a bigger man than he's ever been since he's lost his father. It must be even more frustrating. Like he said, like he could go back in time and try to change this, but no time changing is going to help those tears. So even he kind of understands what he got himself into with this one, and it sucks to know that you can't really do anything but hope that the next couple of days are better. But yeah, this show overall is just, I don't know, it's hitting all the right notes, man. Like, it's definitely showing me they know what they're doing. They got a lot put into this overall arcing stories of people being mistreated, and while they're being mistreated, others have to witness it and pretty much can't do much about it without real evidence to draw to the fact of it. So, I don't know. It sucks to see, but at the same time, it's good to see because that just gives it that much more reason to be happy when all of this stuff blows up in their face for doing what they're doing. So I can't wait for that to happen like always. But until that happens, we learn a good deal, not a good deal. We learned a very interesting little notion of the girl who always was showing up at the lightning strike areas. That the necklace that she has, she considers it to be a part, like the reason she's alive, pretty much. So that was practically the opening for, hey, I'm a very important character. You will see me a lot more often at one time or such. Nah, but it pretty much is just confirming that there's a good reason why she's always up there, and clearly she's not just going to give it away right off the bat. So she's making us work for it, the information, and not to mention, I don't even think she knows she doesn't even know she's making us work for it by her like monotone, nonchalant attitude. She seems like that's just how she is, really. So I'm just interested overall to see where this lands, and if anything, if we're going to see what the heck was going on. Like, I want to know what's going on with the guy who pulled out a gun in the first episode, because for some reason we learned a lot about him acting completely strange and weird ever since. I think that day was like reversed and didn't kind of happen, and he said it was like he's been possessed ever since. So I don't know. That's pretty telling in my opinion when it comes down to some of these overall stories just having weird, things that are unexplainable at first, but then towards the end of the story, it'd be like very, very simple. You'd be like, oh yeah, well clearly this happened to him, and this and this and that. But until you get all the explanation on X and Y on how that could even be possible, it's super confusing. So, um, the guy who pretty much pulled a gun out and was feeling pretty confident about himself is now got rid of all of his furniture, sleeps on the floor, and while he's sleeping on the floor, he wakes back up to do research. I guess the phone going off tips him off, so he just gets angry and starts destroying stuff. She said she had a migraine, but it could be that he's like physically hitting her or something because he's, losing it over like nothing. Was kind of like the hints of that whole she's getting hurt by him type of deal. So interesting enough, ever since that whole situation happened, he might have gotten taken over by something bad from the other side, and maybe they want to make sure whatever happened when he was close to getting the thing he needed, the device, that once they get that close again, they don't lose their chance to get it. So I'm not sure where we're gonna go with that old man, but so far it seems like it could pretty much turn it out to be anything. And I do like that aspect of having his character kind of being in the shadows now. Like, he's like, I'll keep an eye on him, but that whole, like, ever since that episode of him reversing time, we saw him once and he was just like kind of like confused on why he missed meetings or something like that, or like some meetings he had to cancel. Like it was a completely different day. Um, but that's the whole thing that was cool about it is we don't know exactly when or where um, those two are going to bump into each other and what type of like situation are they in, like does he know about the device and he's just straight up chasing you down, or is this a case where he's just, you show up and you guys are in the same store and you say hi, and then he's gonna like probably stalk him, follow him, see what he's doing. Because ever since that whole situation with his mom and that guy pulling a gun on him, he's never trusted him for good reason. So that's another very, very great talking point for or not talking point, but a good plot point for the episode to still get into, seeing how we don't know what that was all about. Fully, anyway. We know what he wanted it for, but what would he do? And was he already possessed by this evil thing that seemingly is controlling him now? Is this how he always was, or has it become stronger because of this encounter? What the heck is going on? And should we be worried? But with all that being said, my anime people, I hope you have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be when you're watching this. And I will definitely talk to you later. Dropping Black Clover after this, so hope you guys check that out if you are Black Clover fans. If not, let me know what you guys are watching and what's been blowing up for you, because this show has been very mysterious, and with it not really touching on anything that we've learned so far and kind of just doing its own thing. I think that's another good tall tale sign that they have a lot of story to still flush out. And thanks to the anime people that were in my comment sections giving me some like info that they've been cramming stuff pretty hardcore into these 23-minute episodes that have openers and enders. So it's really like 20-minute episodes or 19. But yeah, overall, it seems like it's doing well, and I'm enjoying myself trying to figure out what's going on. So hope you guys are too. Let me know what you're feeling about this episode or just the series as a whole. Whatever the case may be, I can't wait to talk to you guys, and I hope you have an amazing day, night, evening. I am the Anime G, and I will talk to you in the next one. Peace.